Hey, Coach Ryan family here from the Fat Loss Solution. I've got another episode of Ask Coach Ryan. Today's question is a good one, and the question is, how many times per week can you sprint without overdoing it? And how do I incorporate sprinting into my program, especially if I'm doing twice per day training? So this is a great question, and as always, the answer is it depends. Depends on a host of factors. If you look at track and field athletes who have very good body composition, they sprint lots of times daily in a given week, so 6 times a week. Now, it's not always at max intensity, but it's still sprinting in some form for a pretty high frequency of the week. At the other end of the spectrum, you have some people who may have never sprinted, and in that case, even adding in 1 to 2 sessions may be too much. So the first general rule I would say is start with however many sessions you're doing right now and simply adding 1 to that. So if you're doing 2 sessions, try adding a third. If you're doing 0, try starting with 1 and going from there. Now, if we're talking about true sprinting in the essence of the term, which means 100% of your maximum effort, which means if you're doing 100-meter sprints and you can sprint it in 11 seconds, you're doing them in 11 seconds each repetition, then I would say no more than 2 times per week. The central nervous system takes 48 to 72 hours to recover, and sprinting is one of the most high-end central nervous system activities that you can do. And so doing it more than 2 times in a week is going to be a recipe for frying yourself into the ground. Now, you could do 2 maximal sessions per week and then do 2 submaximal sessions where maybe you were running at 13 seconds per 100 meters for the same person that could run 11 seconds at 100 meters. So that's an example, and then that person may be doing 4 sessions a week. So I'm rambling a bit here, but for body composition purposes, in other words, if all you want to do is get lean, I would say 3 to 4 times per week is acceptable for sprinting. And you're going to want to vary the distances. Sometimes you can do 100-meter sprints, sometimes you can do 400-meter sprints. But the number one rule is that your performance should always be increasing. So if you find that in week 3 you're sprinting slower than you were in weeks 1 and 2, you're probably doing too much. Same thing with the lifting. If your lifting starts to really tank and you're not lifting as well, then you're probably doing too much and you need to peel it back. So use your recovery and performance as a guide for how often you should do it. Now, as far as when to do it, if you're doing maximal sprinting, it needs to be the first thing in the day. So the most central nervous system demanding activity should come first in the day. So if you're doing 100-meter sprints, that should come first, weight training should come later. If you're just doing sprints on a rower or a cycle ergometer or something like that, then those can come after weight training, no problem. But true maximal sprinting, put it first in the day. So to summarize, number 1, slowly add sprinting in over time. No more than 1 session in addition to what you're already doing. Number 2, don't let performance decrease in anything. You should always seek to increase performance in your lifting, in your sprinting, all assets of physical performance. And number 3, I forgot number 3. Oh, number 3, sorry, is to put sprinting first in the day if you are truly sprinting at max effort. That's it for this edition of Ask Coach Ryan. I hope you learned something. Talk to you soon.